Don't be alarmed. It's just your friendly neighborhood Negro taking a walk in the park with my daughter before my other two knucklehead children get home from school. This is actually day 3 of me getting my walk on after a 9-month layoff. It's like when my wife got pregnant, I got pregnant. She gained weight, I gained weight. This time around, I gained more weight than I ever have in my entire life. I usually average around 165 to 170. So I went from 165 to 170, went from 170 to 180, then 180 to 190 with my tiny frame. It didn't stop there, folks. I was just a few cheeseburgers and fries away from 200 pounds. And over the years, I've been on my little yo-yo diet, up and down, up and down. You know, each time I fail, there's always a valuable lesson that I learned that empowered me to do even better the next time around. You know, so over the time, I've mastered pretty much how to lose weight, but I still have yet to succeed at being about that life. There's people that I look up to, that I admire, who you can catch them year round, still looking in shape. They may not be in tip-top condition, but they still look decent, you know. But, you know, each time over the years, I've had like little health issues. That was nothing to take lightly. But the issue I want to share with you today was by far the worst. And so, before I get into my particular health issues and the miraculous way, by the grace of God, that I was able to eradicate those issues, I just want to let you know that I have a theory that I believe in my heart to be true, that I hope that whomever it applies to will receive it, believe it, and apply it to your life. So what am I saying? There's some individuals out there. I know one in particular in my family. I love this individual dearly. And I'm not going to give too much away, because process of elimination, you'll figure out who I'm talking about. But I'm going to say it's a male. That's all I'm going to say. And there's some individuals out there that feel like they have irreversible health conditions. And it's understandable why they would feel that way, because it just speaks to the severity of the issue. And go figure, I would have a lawnmower going by me. But what I've come to believe is the body is so amazing. You know, like they say in church, we're so beautifully and wonderfully made. The body is so forgiving. And before we get some type of serious illness, the body is always giving us signals to pump the brakes. It's always giving us signals to do something about it. And even when we don't, years and years of abuse, and people, there's testimonies of people, and I'm one of them, but there's way more severe cases. Years and years of abuse, and the body bounced back the moment it gets an opportunity to. And that's the question how are you going to be able to give your body the opportunity to heal itself under the circumstances? Because what I found that worked for me, I know it'll work for you, but you know, it's one of those things that you have to be closely monitored by your doctor based upon the severity of your particular case. And what I mean about the body giving you warning signs, it's just like your vehicle. The check engine light doesn't come on for no reason. The oil light doesn't come on for no reason. Your wheel is not squeaking for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And if you're very intimate with your vehicle, like most people are, you know when it's driving funny. It's something off. Someone else who's not accustomed to your vehicle may get in and like, man, it's ride just fine to me. But you know when something's off. So you can choose to acknowledge it and act accordingly, or you can be negligent. And I always like to say, you can pay now, pay later. You know, when a check engine light comes on, for example, and this is correlated to your body, yeah, it may be inconvenient for you to address the issue, but resolving the issue for that moment could be something as simple as changing the oil. And what at the most you might be out of 50 bucks. But if you keep ignoring it over time, you can wind up having major engine issues to where you're coughing up hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and to the point where it's not even worth fixing. You have to get a brand new vehicle, you know? But God has provided a way for us to get brand new bodies, you know? And so I'm going to get into that towards the end of this video. But now I just want to share with you what's been going on with me. You know, before my mom passed away, she called me out on my breathing. And I was very upset with her because I didn't want to hear the truth. I was in denial. But deep inside I knew something was wrong. But you know, the reason I got upset is because I knew I was, in my words, no pun intended, I was breathing like a fat man. That's the expression I was using at the time. And or I was acknowledging by myself, like, Jesus Christ, you know, I'm just walking from here, you know, to across the street or whatever, and I'm breathing. Why am I out of breath? And so it's like, sometimes the best, you know, we try to ignore the problem for it to go away instead of acknowledging it. But I'm on the phone with my mom, and I kept trying to change the subject. She wasn't having it. She called me out, and I was upset about it. You know, needless to say, I did something about it, and I resolved the issue, but I fell back into my old ways, and then I had a reoccurring health. It became a reoccurring problem, you know. After my mom passed away, it's like the spirit of her came through my wife. My wife was calling me out on my breathing. Like calling me out like very concerned, making a big deal about it. And I didn't want to make a big deal about it. I wanted to keep it, you know, under wraps. And I was in denial. So while I was sleeping, she videotaped me. And what I saw was so embarrassing. I wouldn't have believed it unless she showed it to me. And I was able to believe it, but I felt like she was exaggerating. No exaggeration. Okay, that's one, I guess you say, chronic illness that I had as a result of my health and what I did to myself. Another issue was my immune system got so low, I wound up getting pneumonia. And it was very similar to Bernie Mac. And all I can tell you, I was in fear. I was afraid I was gonna die. And I was pleading with God in my heart. I just want another chance to get myself together. And what put the fear in me is that I have all my little remedies and stuff that I do to overcome my illnesses when I get them from time to time. But this time, this thing, it wouldn't go nowhere. I couldn't shake it. And it felt like a serious threat to my life, you know. And there was incredible testimony behind that. I was broke at the time. I couldn't even afford antibiotics. But just so happened, man, and you know, if God didn't have a ram in the bush, I'm confident I would have died. But he ain't done with me yet, you know. But just so happened, you know, it's like when you get children, you put your children first, your wife first, and then sometimes you put other things, you make other things priority. You put it before your health and stuff like that. So I'm guilty of frivolous spending and stuff like that and putting those things before my health. So I couldn't even afford to go to the dentist at the time. And it got to the point where I was like, man, I know I need to go to the dentist and get a checkup. And so I had like one of my teeth was I had an asp or whatever you call it. And so the dentist prescribed me the same type of antibiotics that people use for those, you know, the same antibiotics that they use for your teeth. You know, it helps everything else too. You know, those antibiotics is very powerful, you know what I'm saying? It's not only killing bad stuff, it's killing good stuff too. But it's kind of giving you a clean slate in the worst way. But it's like a last resort. That's what happens when, you know, our health gets so low, you know. Because antibiotics, it's really not good. It's something that you should be taking as a last resort. But over the years, people have relied and depended on it so heavily. Penicillin and all kinds of stuff like that. But, so, anyway, I overcame that. And so, true to my promise, I got back on my health tip hardcore. But just as I told you earlier today, one thing I still have yet to master is not just losing weight, getting in shape and gaining a little muscle tone and definition, but maintaining it. You know, there's a show that my wife and I love. It's an old show now, but it's still enjoyable. It's called Fat to Fit, or Fit to Fat, where it's this trainer, which I admire him. He cares so much about his clients that he was confident. He was always able to help people. But some of his plus size people would always criticize him, like he's pushing them so hard and he couldn't relate to them. They claim he couldn't relate to them. Like, you don't know what it means. You know, we're trying, but you know, you having unreasonable expectations. You're not taking into account our weight, and you hitting us with the guilt trip as if we're not trying, but you don't know what it feels to be dedicated and passionate and pushing yourself, but you got all this weight on you, you know? So this dude, he went on like a binge. I don't know his exact time, but maybe he went on a binge, hardcore binge for several months. And man, he looked like Saint Nick up in his piece. You know what I'm saying? He was huge. And needless to say, the show wound up being powerful to the point where it caught fire. A lot of trainers nationwide started doing the same thing. They took the challenge. You know how you be having these ridiculous challenge, you know, the fire challenge and all that stuff like that. Well, this was a challenge, you know, fit to fat challenge. So all these fit coaches who's about their life, a lot of them was, you know, eating everything in sight. And I enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm eating the food with them vicariously. They gaining weight, and then when they gained weight, a lot of them was developing, a lot of them couldn't complete the challenge, you know, because they wind up getting serious health issues along the way before they can even finish the challenge. But the ones who did complete the challenge, they was really able to walk in the shoes of their plus size clients. So anyway, my wife always made jokes like, what? You know, it's like, yeah, she applauded me when I lose weight and I get back in shape, but she said, how long is it gonna last? You're gonna go from fat to fit to fat to fit? And then you got Tiana Taylor, you know, she got this fitness deal called fade to fit. But that notorious, infamous, extremely sexy video that she did. So I'm always teasing my wife, yeah, you my Tiana Taylor. So you got to get back into that Tiana Taylor shape. That's neither here nor there. So where was I going with this? Yeah. So I talked about my heart. My breath. It was something going on with my heart. Something serious going on with my heart. I was playing with fire. That's what my mom was calling me out on. And as well as my wife. Then the second issue, it had to do with my immune system going down to the point where I wasn't able to shake off these colds and flus and stuff like I normally do. It was lingering. The third thing is one day I got out and I took for granted that I was going to be able to do things that I've been doing. And I had a huge reality check. I got out thinking I was going to run to the park and back like I normally do, and I wound up having I got crippled in the middle. Oh wow, a snake. A snake. I can see it. Probably can't see it. Anyway, I became painfully aware. At that point, I can't tell you how I know, but I know deep inside, like, I was borderline diabetic, if not that. It's so easy to ignore signs, especially when it's something that you want to hear. And that's why a lot of us males do not like to go to the doctor. We don't want to hear negative news. We'll try to do something. Like a person like me, I try to do something about it before it comes to that. So me being in football and being in sports, and since I can remember, I would always leading the pack with a group of my friends from the neighborhood. I would always be jogging around in the neighborhood. One of my close friends back in the day, calling my brother DeCarlos, he used to run with me a lot. I remember Aaron Houston used to run a lot. So I'm accustomed to pushing through pain. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, athletes kind of look forward to the pain. You feel like if you're not sweating or if you're not pushing your body, then you're not doing nothing. So you kind of look forward to it, and then you look forward to it ending. So I know the difference between running and your lungs is about to collapse, and you feeling that temptation to want to just stop and catch your breath, but you challenging yourself to push through that and finish strong. I know the difference between that and just being debilitated by some type of crippling health condition that you was blindsided by and unaware of. And I realized there was some horrible circulation problem going on in my legs. And I'm like, oh my God. And I learned a lot about that from my mom, who had diabetes. She died from diabetes, the complications of diabetes. Actually, from the medications, all the many medications she was taking. So she was painfully aware of what poor health can do to you. She was full of regrets in that regards. And she was very passionate about preaching from her own condition, trying to warn her family members to straighten up and fly right and get it together. You don't want to end up like me. And so I still hear her voice in my head on a regular. And a lot of individuals who have to take all these medications and stuff, they're like honorary physicians. It's like they can have their honorary doctor's degree and something like that, because you become well acquainted with all these medications and what they do, the side effects and all that, I mean, she knew a lot about that stuff. She doesn't have no official degree in it. And so me being her son, I know a lot about the poor circulation and the signs and what it indicates and all these different things. So just let's look at those things. Issues with my heart, issues with my breathing, issues with my lungs. 2005, I almost died from meningitis, and I think it was meningitis. It was egiotisis, man. It was crazy. But that was when I was literally on my deathbed, and God spared me. So, you know, issues with my heart, and just this wonderful body always bounce back, you know, but you can't keep taking that for granted. And there's people who abuse their body more heavily than me. Well, actually, I think we're equal, you know, because I don't drink and I don't smoke, but man, like, I'm a food junkie, especially chocolate. I mean, the amounts of chocolate that I eat, you just wouldn't believe. Or just put it like this: the gas station next to my job, they restock their chocolates because of me, because I'm hitting them up every night. King size sneakers and stuff like that, like several times. You know, that's a bit too much for some people. They'll be still chewing on that king size sneakers all day. But you know what I'm saying, I'm eating like three of them bad boys a day, and going back with big bags of chips and stuff like that. So anyway, it don't matter how you trashing your body and how you abusing your body. Abuse is abuse. If you taxing your kidneys because you're just an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying, you smoking them cancer sticks and all that stuff like that, you know, which brings me to the final health crisis that I just recently overcame. And it was the most, I can't compare it to what happened to me in 2005 when I almost died. And I can't compare it to, you know, it can't be compared to death. I can't compare it to what happened to me a year or two ago when I had pneumonia, a life-threatening case of pneumonia that it damn near took a whole year for it to just really, for me to shake it. You know, can't compare it to death, but what was going on inside of me, there's a number of possibilities that crossed my mind. It just make you think about cancers and stuff like that. Like, believe it or not, it had to do with hygiene. Now, I've always been a sweater, and that's completely different when you sweating and you funky. And you know, we all have a body odor. All of our SHIT stinks. But you can Google search. And mind you, I'm talking about underarm odor. An extreme condition that I had, and I wish I just can do justice to it. But I'm just kind of correlating a lot of stuff with it because I'm dealing with health. You can Google and you can discover that your poop and your piss says a lot about you. The shape, the color, the smell, the consistency of it, you know, from diarrhea to hardcore like a rock. It says something about what's going on inside you. You know, the odor of your urine, the color of it. So I'm correlating everything. I think about my mom and people like her and my mom, that was one of her beautiful testimonies I love to talk about, man. She was so addicted to those cancer sticks, smoking like boxes of them. You know, when you buy the whole crate or whatever you want to call them. Maybe it's like a 10 or 20 in the pack, I don't know. I mean, she went through them. And before my grandmother passed away, she used to tell her, she said, Lenny, you need to cut, you need to stop smoking. Long story short, God made that happen. And she just woke up one day, basically, the smell of it, the sight of it, thought of it made her want to vomit. And so it has to be divine intervention too, you know, not just willpower, you know, because so many people have tried and failed. But anyway, I just remember that she smoked so much that, you know, you can smell it in her clothes, lingering in her car and stuff like that. There's been a lot of cases of people who, even when they wasn't smoking, if they were just out and about and they start to sweat like I'm sweating now, you can smell that cigarette, that cancer stick smoke coming out their pores. So that's what was going on with me, that I discovered that was going on with me. You see, my wife come home making little comments, and I just joke it off. Like, you know, all the different crises I had, deep inside, I was worried at the moment, but deep inside I wasn't too worried because I already knew that I can resolve it. Deep in my heart, I knew that I could resolve it, you know. And so the unique thing about this particular incident, this particular health issue that I developed, I found out, I found out real quick that it was something that I couldn't resolve. And that's when it really got serious. I was joking around. It was funny for a minute. Like that expression. It was all good just a week ago. It was all good till reality set in. And it scared me. You know, because I developed the type of funk that you wouldn't believe. It's just like going around a homeless person. It's not the average funk. You know, to me, the average funk is tolerable. You go to the gym. I'm not talking about these disgusting individuals who don't take a shower, who don't believe in soap and all that. I'm just talking about the average odor, body odor we all have. You work up a sweat, you smell like a slight odor, whatever. But the way I was beginning to smell, and it started to occur after I turned 40. It was like going to pass a homeless man. As a matter of fact, recently at my job, this was so crazy. I was doing like my little rounds, my patrols and whatnot, and I kid you not, I was coming off the elevator. No, I wasn't coming off the elevator. I was walking down this path, right? And I'm gonna say, there was a homeless person right around the corner, and he's about, let's say, about 50 yards from me, and I smelled him as if he was right up on me. I was like, Jesus. I had to like put my game face on. I didn't want to offend him, and I even offered him something to eat. And Jesus Christ, it was crazy. So I was having that effect on my wife, and like I said, it didn't reach that degree until, like, I guess, like each week. I'm gonna just say for a month. Each week it was getting more intensified, and it was becoming more difficult for me to brush it off and charge it to, like, yeah, me just doing yard work and sweating, me making jokes about everything. She's coming in like, Jesse, man, I know you're busy around here working and doing yard work and stuff. Can you go take a shower? And I'm like laughing like, yeah, you love my black. You love the smell of my black ASS, you know. But then deep inside, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and nip this in the bud. Something's going on. So I tried every over-the-counter, you know, deodorant. Didn't work. Behind the counter, online stuff, all these home remedies, different concoctions, to the point I burnt one of my armpits. It's recovering right now. And it was getting embarrassing, because it was like, when I started taking it seriously is when I was taking multiple showers a day and baths, and then and like literally, no joke, within a few minutes, I'm not talking about 30 minutes, way less than that, like 5-10 minutes, you know, the odor, it was just lingering. I was like, man, what's going on? So after doing everything imaginable externally, I knew then, because, you know, God gives you wisdom. For some reason, he made me think about individuals who be smoking cigarettes, and how, like, that odor was a result of what they were doing to their body, what they put in their body and stuff like that. So what happened to me, I realized it didn't have so much to do with me being nearly 200 pounds, because you got some plus size people out there who smell delicious, who do not have no odor problem. They just have a weight problem that they're dealing with, and they're desperately trying to change, but they don't have a problem smelling good, you know. A lot of them do. And for all the various size people, from lightweight to the heavyweight, if there's anything that I'm saying by the end of this video that help you out, I hope it does. Especially with individuals who got extreme things going on in their body that they're ashamed about. So anyway, that was my first clue. I knew I had to do something quick. So, man, I went on an extreme detox. You know, something that I'm very good at doing over the years. So I knew what to do. But I never took it to the extreme that I did this time, because I was always worried about muscle loss. You know, I just wanted to lose, you know, fat and detox, and not lose any muscle at all if possible. So before I get to the point, because I was hearing stuff about once you go on those detoxes too long, you run the risk, you know, losing too much weight. You run the risk of losing muscle too. But see, when your health is at stake, all those, your priorities shift. So I'm like, you know what? You know, to hell with the muscles. I can gain those back. That's why they got this thing called muscle memory. You know, I don't want to just look good. I want to actually be good. You know, I don't want to look healthy. I actually want to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the truth. What you see is what you actually get. And you know, this thing is serious. You know, you see a lot of, there's been quite a few stories of like these bodybuilders who look like the picture of health. I mean, it's like no ounce of fat on them. It's all muscle. They look chiseled. I mean, they look like a cartoon superhero character. Their body looks so perfect. But a lot of them, they just drop dead mysteriously. And then come to find out they had horrible heart or something like that. So it's not all about working out and doing things to gain muscle, but what are you doing to build up your heart condition? You know, to build your heart, have a strong heart, to have a healthy brain. You know, there's a lot of people, because of like what I was going through, there's a lot of people that's linking Alzheimer's with people who are just go around dehydrated. And you know, some of the studies show there's a lot of black people are guilty of that. We're so accustomed to walking around dehydrated, we don't even know how it feels. We don't even know that we're just walking around like almost like the living dead. You know, we're accustomed to walking around with just a drop of water in our system. You know what I'm saying? Getting by with that. And that goes back to how amazing the body is. But even though the body's so amazing, at some point it's going to give out if you're not helping it out. And it's miracles happen when you give your body the opportunity to rest. And that's, you know, what I want to get to. So this time around, I said, man, I'm giving me a clean slate. And I'm bound and determined to be about that life, just like a Christian. You know, you got some part-time Christians, some Sunday Christians, you know, some Easter Sunday Christians who just, you know, but then you got some of those Christians who are just completely sold out, devoted, and you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, love. You know, they are Christians 24/7, you know. They're about that life. You're not gonna catch them being a Christian only when they feeling good, when they got a brand new car, when they feeling blessed. You're gonna catch them like some of the fitness gurus that I look up to, and they're not just gurus, it's the ones they're about that life year round. You know what I'm saying? And they do it in a way that's beautiful and it looks easy, because you don't get the sense that they're missing out. They have enjoyable meals. They take care of their sweet tooth. It's not just some bland, boring diet that they're on. They showing us and giving us examples that it can be done, and that you can have a well-balanced life. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So since my priority changed, and after that odor issue that I had, and I remedied this bad boy within 30 days. That's what I'm trying to say. Less than 30 days, but I took it to the extreme because I was serious about that thing, right? But my wife had to deal with that disgusting, horrible odor for several months. And there was times I wanted to go surprise my children at school and have lunch with them. But I was like, man, how long I'm going to be able to keep this funk at bay? I'm like, it's just so embarrassing. I'm too young for this, So I know you remember all those other health conditions that I had. And so that just goes to show you that, man, like the older you get, the more your metabolism slows down. You can't get away with the things you was getting away with when you was younger. You fall down, you heal slower. You eating junk food, you're gonna put on some pounds overnight. When you was younger, metabolism is so fast, the food is burning before you even get a chance to digest it. You know what I'm saying? So I purchased like 12 gallons, 12 gallons of water, distilled water. And distilled water is very powerful because it just strips your body of everything, the good and the bad. So that's why they say if you're gonna drink that distilled water, it needs to be temporary. So I was already educated on that. You'd be surprised at all these various types of waters and what they do, but knowledge is power. So I was detoxing myself. And the motivation to stick with it, because every time I took a piss, I was imagining whatever that was corroding inside of me, or whatever was being pissed out. All the stored up toxins that was stored up in the fat, I was pissing it out and crapping it out, or blowing my nose, blowing it out, hawking up mucus, spitting it out. My skin started glowing and clearing up. And the beautiful thing that you come to realize is while you are taking a break from eating all that hardcore food, big old steaks and meats and chickens and all the stuff like that your body has to work hard to process that stuff. When you give your body a break from doing that, your body can refocus its attention on rebuilding your cells. Can you believe that? It's like your whole DNA being remade over. All those dead cells in your body that's being disregarded. And by you pumping your body with fluid, and your body's able to rebuild and create new cells. You know what I'm saying? And start doctoring, your body is healing itself, just like in the movies, Wolverine or whoever, the Hulk, they get severely injured and they start to heal. Those type of shows are sensationalized. It's like a time lapse. You get to see the healing happen like within minutes. But in actual reality, we have those same type of healing properties, but we just have to give our body time to heal. So what I'm gonna suggest, is some people who, what I'm gonna suggest is like, if you're drinking or smoking, I don't have the answers for that. You just do your best to try to exit out your life. And you got some type of heart condition, liver condition, breathing problems, whatever the case may be, you need to take a time out. Do like, if you're about that, everything depends on your particular health condition. If you're young and able-bodied, I would suggest going a hardcore fast, a hardcore water fast, a hardcore juice fast. Either one would do just fine, as long as you can. 30 days tops, 21 to 30 days tops. That's the big challenge. And that's how you can get the quickest results. But there's also ways to do it safer. So if you can't do that, I would suggest intermittent fasting, to where, first of all, you're not eating heavy meals. Just, look at it as you giving your digestive system a vacation. So you're gonna eat light meals and fast in between. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 light meals a day. And if you want to really push yourself to really get some results, have like 1 meal a day. Because guess what? Just having 1 meal a day, your body gets a chance to just focus on digesting that and digesting that alone. And so, because we're constantly stuffing our mouth, we're constantly snacking during the day, we're constantly picking out and getting our grub on. So your body's not getting a break. It don't have time to be, it can't heal you because it's so busy digesting food. And one thing I learned about myself, I think I'm gonna end the video now. When I was really feeling myself in the early stages of my health journey, which I've been doing this thing for years now, one thing I came to realize is that I wasn't having breakfast. See, we never pay attention to words. And breakfast is you breaking your fast, break fast. So me, at night time, working a night shift, I'm up here having fat burgers, fries, large drink. A few hours pass by, go to the corner store, grab me a couple of chocolate bars. A few more hours pass by, go grab me a couple of bag of chips and another soft drink, sugary soft drink. Then it's time for me to get off from work. And all those empty carbs got me starving. And I've been eating all night. So now I'm about to have breakfast. It's like, Negro, please, you're not having no breakfast because you never did fast. Breakfast is like, the best way to explain it, you go to bed at night, you get your 8 hours of sleep, for example. So while you sleep, you're not eating. So when you wake up in the morning, you have your breakfast. You're breaking your fast. For the past 8 hours, you was not eating. Now you finally get a chance to eat and nourish yourself. So a brother like me, I'm eating around the clock. And this wonderful body that God gave us that we take for granted, it functions without us giving a thought. Your eye just naturally blinks on its own when some foreign object is about to fly in it. We're not forcing ourselves to breathe, we're breathing on our own. This body, it does what it do, and it's wonderful. And we abuse it, misuse it for years, and it still keep ticking. It take a lick and keep on ticking. But just imagine when we give it a break, give it a vacation, a much needed vacation. It's been treating us so good over the years, we should challenge ourselves to, do fasting or, cut back on our intake and give the body a break. Because, if you don't do research, you're going to gain a whole new respect for your body, what it got to go through to process and digest food and deal with the crap that you put in it, And I just feel like everything is relative. dying of sugar diabetes will take you out just as, just as hardcore as, you being a drug addict, sniffing cocaine and doing all kinds of drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. So we all in the same boat. And I just feel like I love wonderful testimonies. I love extreme testimonies. That's what attracted me to shows like The Biggest Loser. That's what attracted me to shows like My 600-Pound Life. I love to see when people make up their mind to change and they receive the help that they need, and it actually happened. It's amazing. I'm the type of person, I would be driving around and I see like a stray dog in the road, and maybe it's the rib cage is showing, the hair is all mangy and it just looks like it's been neglected. I used to see a dog like that in my neighborhood, man. I used to just love to give it food and look forward to it coming back to life, looking like a skeleton Walking Dead dog, to the hair grew back on it, is looking beautiful, shiny, got some meat on his bones, looking, I love those rehabilitation stories, when people count you out and you prove them wrong, so I would like to encourage you all to go grab a picture of you when you was in high school. And I want you to know that that's still you up underneath your skin. That's still you even after all these years. And you can make healthy lifestyle changes to reverse time. Not literally, but close enough to the point you got like people like Pharrell Williams and a lot of people who, wow, just like when you abuse yourself, it's like you age beyond what you're supposed to look like. And then those who, y'all get the point I'm making. So that's all I got to say right there. I'm thinking about this one person in particular. I just feel like this one in particular who shared something. If you knew what this person shared with me, ooh, you would cringe. You're like, man, there's no way this person come back from this. But I remember when this person shared this with me, I was thinking like, man, it'd be kind of cool if something happened to where this person was able to get locked up. And I know that sounds negative, but maybe locked up in prison for just a long enough period of time to detox from all the drugs and alcohol, and to have no choice but to give the body a break, and then watch not only the weight drop, but this person can just receive letters from me and other individuals, and they make a decision right then and there, like, I'm not gonna serve time, I'm gonna let time serve me. And I'm not talking about no life sentence, nothing like that. Maybe no more than like a year. But when you're being so positive, that year flies by quick. We all know that. So I always visualize this person like hitting the weights hard. You know what I'm saying? Jogging or something like that on a regular basis. And letting healing from inside out. And then coming out with a major swag and being freshly reminded out of all that they've been through, they never want to go back. And that's what will keep them being about their life like how I'm trying to be now. And what's going to be next? Like right now, I have no odor whatsoever. Like right now, I'm sweating. Right now, I can go home and no exaggeration, I don't have to take no shower because I'm trying to hide something. It's like I'm taking a shower just because, you know, I'm not a nasty Negro. But not because it's like, oh God, I smell like the living dead. And it was gone within, I pushed, you know, I took it to the extreme. I went 30 days of detox. But I was already, the odor had already vanished, like after the two week mark, when I was going into the second week. So no more taking stuff for granted. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that you guys will be inspired to do the same. I'm out. Peace.